Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the South African Cricket Podcast. My name is Mpho and Tim. I've got Tim Delace here with me. We talk all things South African cricket. And today, Tim, it's Victory Monday. For myself, I've got like a triple Victory Monday. But for you, you've got a double Victory Monday. But yeah, for most South Africans, it's a double Victory Monday. Wins for the Proteas women as well as the Proteas men at the World Cup on Sunday. I was flicking between the two, watching this, and then once the Arsenal game had started, in all earnest, we'd already had India 5 down. So I was like, okay, we're fine, we're safe. But anyway, great weekend, and a great weekend for Lion supporters, i.e. myself. Yeah. Back to back, 3 trophies.
You're still muted.
There we go. 3 4-day series trophies in 3 years. Sorry, I've got this new thing, and whenever I touch it, it's very sensitive. But anyway, cool. You can follow us on SA Cricket Pod on X. You can subscribe to the South African Cricket Podcast YouTube channel. That's where you find us. And then also, for our audio listeners, hello everyone. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Growing community there, so we really, really do appreciate that. And for our growing community, you can buy some coffee. It's a way to support us and our endeavors as we go through the cricketing landscape and the cricketing world to bring you South African cricket news. You can buy some coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cricket SA Cricket Pod. You also will see the 2 QR codes on YouTube on the bottom corner and at the top. Either one will send you to that Buy Me a Coffee/SA Cricket Pod link. Thank you very much to everyone who's contributed, and we appreciate them all, your contributions as well. Tim, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, mate. Yes, we will get into as to why. I don't quite have the same success rate as you over the weekend, but I've done not too badly. I've done not too badly. All good.
Yeah, not too badly indeed. But let's deal with the breaking news that's come out today in the last hour as we're preparing for the show. CSA have announced a jam-packed fixture list. The only question is, where's SA20 going to fit in this with all this cricket? We've got Australia coming down, Bangladesh coming down, as well as England coming down in December. We're still gonna play Sri Lanka in the new year, so that's gonna be interesting when we get to play them. And if that clashes with SA20 or the IPL, that's gonna be very important for us from a World Test Championship. But now we know the games we need to win to get us back to Lords in 2027. If you say I didn't warn you, this is your second warning now. I warned you first up. Now this is the second warning. And here are the fixtures. We're playing Australia in an ODI series first up in Kingsmead on the 24th of September. We play them on the 27th at the Wanderers, and we'll also play them on the 30th in Potch at the JB Marks Oval. That is going to be a 400 game. Don't say I didn't warn you. But you don't want to be bowling then. But anyway, that's in preparation for the test series. 3-match test series starting on the 9th of October to the 13th in Durban. Why it's in Durban, God only knows. But anyway, fine. Next one at St. George's in PE on the 18th. And then lastly, on the 27th to the 31st at Newlands Cricket Ground. So effectively, we're going back to Sandpaper Gate drama. It's just that we won't have the Wanderers test, the 4th test, to kind of, put them back in. But I'm assuming they won't bring their sandpapers along. Tim, I'm just mad that we're sending a test to Durban. We've got Bangladesh. Bangladesh doesn't get Durban. Why do we love the people of Durban that much that they get the honor of hosting Australia in a test series? And you will note Pretoria and Johannesburg do not get the West Indies, Australia.
That is interesting. That is interesting. It is hard for me to stick up for my coastal brothers. It really, really, really is hard. And for the point you make, it would make far more sense if that test match was the Bangladesh test match because of the demographics of the area. That's just the nature of where you would think that would make a lot more sense, and also would make the test match against Bangladesh. You would like to think, touch wood, more competitive from a Bangladesh point of view. It doesn't really make sense not playing our one of the top three in the bigger parts of the country. It doesn't really make sense to me at all.
And if you look at the wickets they're going to be playing on, I'm okay with St. George's, but I'm not okay with St. George's and Durban.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
one or the other.
I'm sitting here thinking, are we going to play Simon Harmer the entire series with Keshav? Because we're going to Newlands, right? So it's spin against Australia. No, guys, no. And to a certain extent, yes, Durban does get a bad rap, but the fans don't even come through for SA20. We're going to have light issues because we know they're going to start at 10 o'clock. Wait, they're starting at 9:30. They should start at 9 o'clock because at 4:30, light issues. So I'm just a little perplexed by this because if we then go to the next set of games, the Bangladesh games, Bangladesh Test Series starts on the 15th of November. Oh, guess where? The DP World Wanderers. And the second one is at Super Sport Park in Centurion.
Wow.
What are we doing? Like, the trick to this World Test Championship is actually beating Australia. Now you're bringing Nathan Lyon into the equation. I don't get. He's their best bowler. This is going to be bowling attack versus bowling attack because, yeah, our batters are better than theirs. But, you know, we've seen Travis Head at the Ashes. We've seen how this team can look. Yes, they've got question marks around their batting, but it's still Australia. Are we afraid to play them at the Wanderers? From a scheduling perspective, it makes no sense. So you're going to have an empty Wanderers and an empty Centurion when everyone's been waiting to see the World Test champions play, and you only give the people in Cape Town a chance. You're leaving Johannesburg, you're leaving Pretoria behind, and you give the people in Cape Town, and then, like, St. George's will be packed. I've got no issues there. Give me one of the Highveld stadiums. Heck, let's go to Centurion. But, like, I have a bad rap, because here's my thing. We're going to be fighting for light. We're going to be fighting for fans. We're going to be looking there going, but these are the World Test champions. Why isn't the stadium full? The stadium would be full at the Highveld. And we're starting on a Friday. So
this is what you do when you play India, Australia, or England. You go to Cape Town, you go to Joburg, and then you choose between St. George's and Centurion. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You don't go put them in Durban. It doesn't make any sense at all. Unless we're suddenly going to see a dramatic change and the whole of Durban's going to turn up. I don't see it myself, but yeah, look, it's a logistical error, I would say. Unless
if someone in Durban feels we're being unfair on them, prove me wrong, go to the game. If you think I am hard on Durban, prove me wrong, go to the game. And then also at 4:30, give me a call and I'll ask you if the play is still happening. And you'll tell me, no, they've come off a bad light. Effectively, that first game's a draw. Why, like, guys, you know what? It's fine. Let's move on. We've got many other things to talk about. We'll talk about it later because we're trying to win games here, people. Okay. Bangladesh have the Wanderers and Centurion. They start on my birthday, funny enough, at Centurion. So I might be spending 4 days there. That'll be cool. And then they've got an ODI series. They go to Buffalo Park, they go to St. George's, and then they go to Newlands for the ODIs to start off December. So we've got lots of Proteas cricket in December. T20s as well, the 10th of December in Kimberley, 12th at Benoni, and the 13th at Centurion. I'm assuming the team that was selected for this New Zealand series that we still need to talk about, that's effectively the guys who will be playing there. And then we've got England coming through for their test series starting on the 17th of December at the Wanderers. Again, England, Wanderers, makes sense. Then the 26th, Boxing Day, at Centurion. That's a good one. And then we take them to Newlands. What did Australia do to not get this red carpet treatment? Anyway, happy England's got the red carpet treatment. And then on the 10th of Jan, we're going to play an ODI series against England at Boylan Park. The next one is 2 games at Mangaung Oval in Bloemfontein. I don't know if you're trying to... It feels like, Tim, we're trying to shake hands with people. Trying to, be like, well, Durban also needs a game. So-and-so needs a game. Heck, you could have given Durban the entire ODI series against England. No one was going to watch you anyway. But anyway.
There definitely was an element of that, but as we've said, it could have been done better. Australia and England should get premiums to red carpet. Bangladesh, not so. That's the nature of how it should have worked out.
But anyway, that's the series that's going to happen at the end of the year. Good luck to the Proteas for that. Anyway, yesterday, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday. They gave us the cupcake because of 2024. We choked on it somehow, and somehow Mother Cricket came and bit them in the ass. India, how do you feel about them apples? Really? How do you feel about them apples? Anyway, Tim, I'm happy. I'm supposed to be happy. Let's enjoy this thing because I want to beat them in the final. I want them in the final. I want them to cry in the final like they cried last night. What I saw last night, Tim, is the India team that does not have an identity, or has one identity, but do not have a plan B, which is insane because their bowling was amazing. That was probably the best bowling I have seen in a while. Yes, South Africa did the business to kind of get themselves runs on the board, but at the turn of the innings, in the middle of the innings, when South Africa had finished with 187, I was like, well, it's runs on the board. I think we're not at a par score. Let's see if our bowlers can defend, because I don't think they would have. And somehow we did. The way Miller took on Chakravarti, the way Brevis did the same. Obviously, Bumrah, 3 for 15, that was unbelievable. But then Lungi did the same. 15 runs in those 4 overs, unbelievable. But Tim, when I look at this team, I sit there going, am I priming myself for heartbreak? Because these guys are playing some good cricket. Should I just enjoy the ride, knowing that somewhere along the line, something's going to go wrong? I expected something to go wrong yesterday, because I even said it was a free hit. I didn't think India were going to come like this. But anyway, the Proteas beating India. We love them apples. Now let's analyze the living daylights out of this game. Tim, what were your thoughts on the game? That 187, did you think it was par?
I did. I thought when we got 21 of the last over, what a horrendous over from Pandya. I thought the momentum was with us. We have the best bowling attack in this competition. People can come at me with England's batting all the way down to 10. Our bowling is superior to everybody else's. That's, as far as I'm concerned, non-negotiable. So from that point of view, I thought we've done this. I genuinely was in a similar vein of thought when we were sort of 15 overs down. I thought we need to get a move on, lads. We need to get a move on because this is not going to be enough against a strong Indian batting setup. But I thought they did mention a lot in the commentary. Our game plans against their bowlers outside of Bumrah were absolutely superb. Chakravarti's been sensational the last 18 months.
Mm.
And we said to him, bowl on the stumps, and you're going down time. We showed him the stumps. Miller showed him the stumps, leg side of the ball, and hit straight beautifully. That axis of Stubbs, Brevis, and Miller, with the way they attacked him, because he is definitely a weapon of theirs, basically killed them, because then they had to keep going back to Bumrah to get momentum back on their side. And then our bowlers. The Indian batting was shocking, absolutely shocking. I have to say that I really, really thought it was very poor the way they went about it. But our bowling was excellent. Ngidi is elite level in T20 cricket. Absolutely elite level.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. Corbin again. Corbin comes on straight away, gets a wicket straight away. He does that every time he plays. He is such an important player in our side.
Oh man.
The big plus for me, just the last point.
Yeah.
The big plus for me is while I was critical of that win against Afghanistan, the positive from that and where we were after sort of 12, 13 overs in our batting, they are clutch moments, and we are taking those clutch moments and getting over the line. We got enough runs in the batting department. We kept getting a chance to win against Afghanistan. We took the chance. When we are needing to take a chance to get over the line, this team, instead of retreating and choking like the Star Sports ad suggested, we are not choking. We are taking that pressure on, and we are saying, there, now it's over to you. And that's a huge, huge plus for the side in a World Cup.
And again, Tim, it was a full team performance. I think India were reliant on their stars more than the collective, right? And the one star that came through was Bumrah, batting or bowling, right? But having a look at our batting, we're 20 for 3. We're in trouble. When I saw 20 for 3, I sat there going, you know what? It's okay. This is a free hit. It's fine. Let's see. But again, David Miller and the importance of a David Miller across all limited overs formats, guys. I want that type of experience. I don't care about youngsters. David Miller being sandwiched between Brevis and Stubbs is the best masterstroke that Shukri's ever thought of. Because we all like, no, but he should be batting at 4. That partnership between him and Brevis, I think it was 98 runs. That was calming. It was soothing. It was peaceful. And at that point in time, in my head, I'm sitting there going, I'm thinking, hey, if we can just put something on the board, 160, 170, go back to Mark Boucher cricket, be respectable against what arguably is the best bowler in T20, which is Bumrah, right? And then when you saw what Bumrah did, and you're like, oh, Chakravarti's coming. And you're like, oh, snap. And they had a plan for him. This team, this Shukri era, is seldom caught without a plan. Seldom caught without a plan. They have a plan. Like, to the point where the Aiden Markram opening the bowling situation, yes, we were all holding our heads, but he knew he was going to bait them into that because India are very aggressive. And it worked. The ball held. They understood the black soil. They got Corbin in, even though it was a little bit tacky, it all held. And if you listen to David Miller in the innings break, he kind of told you that it's slower, but it's not as slow as you would expect, but it's just holding. And Aiden, my word, opened up the game. And for me, it's the intent that this team has. There's too many times Proteas cricketers have been very passive in games like this, right? In must-win games at a World Cup, you find when they're punched in the face, they retreat, as you say. Captain Aiden led from the front. He led really, really well. But let's go through that batting card, right? Because it's literally Brevis, Stubbs, and Miller. Everyone else is a phone number. Single digits, that's what it was. But 45 of 29 for David Miller, 63 of 35 for Tristan Stubbs, and Marco Janssen 44 of 24 for Tristan Stubbs, and 63 of 35 for David Miller. That was our batting performance. We had 3 guys who came through. Everyone else struggled, but those 3 held us together. It was a win for how many times has, like, this entire series has been the top order, right? But that middle order came through for us against Afghanistan. They came through for us against here, right? And I don't know what happened to Tristan Stubbs in SA20, being a captain. I still didn't rate him even after he won, because I sat there going, he's not big in front of the mic, but I'm assuming he's getting these guys to play great cricket, and he is. Him and AD Burrell were getting guys to play great cricket. He looks a different man, a different man. Brevis as well looks a mature cricketer. Yes, he got out at the wrong time, and when he got out, and then Miller got out, and you're like sitting there going, oh, that's the 20 minutes where we lose the game. Well, we lost 3 wickets in a clump when Bumrah came back. However, Tristan held on, and it worked. We got there. And 187, I was like, runs on the board, Tim. What did you make of that? Well, the batting performance for the 3 guys, because everyone else was just seeing fire.
Well, what we needed from this to go far this World Cup is we needed to play as a team. We don't have the AB de Villiers, the Faf du Plessis, the KP Duminis. We need to play as a team. So we need games where Quinton is going to dominate, Ryan's going to dominate, Ryan's going to chip in, Stubbs is going to chip in. They're all chipping in. And when we need it, you're right. The 20 for 3 was scary. It was scary at 20 for 3. I didn't quite see it as a free hit, so to speak. I saw it as a real pressure game, because what I didn't want was a must win against the West Indies. That's what I didn't want. I was fearful of that. So it's a huge plus from my perspective to get the win. Takes the pressure off somewhat. Everything that we tried at this game worked out. That was the big thing. And it's huge. It's huge. Look, T20 cricket can change at the flip of a coin. We know that. It's still a long way to go. I still have nightmares of losing to our neighbours at 99. We still have to play them. They're playing really good cricket. But so far, so good. It's looking good.
No, it is looking good. And what I said on a different platform around this game was, it was a time for South Africa to try something else, right? This is the game where you use some of the plans you think you can use in the final, because you have 2 shots at India. You should have 2 shots at India if everything goes your way, right? So my thing was, this is more of a free hit, because you have to learn what works against these guys, right? And they were spot on. We didn't have to do it in a losing cause. We didn't, because my thought was, if we came out of this game with a loss, I'd be sitting here going, what did we learn? How do you play Chakravarti? How do you play Bumrah? Do you just let Bumrah go for 4 overs and try to tag Chakravarti, which they did, and it worked? Obviously, they gave us Washington Sundar. I wanted to see Akshar Patel. I'm more afraid of Akshar Patel. So when I saw Sundar, I was like, okay, doesn't turn the ball that much. Okay, that's fine. He's also not a scary batter as well. So I was like, oh, well, maybe they're also like doing some sort of a rope-a-dope. But anyway, and so from a bowling perspective for us, for the guys to try something like Aiden opening the bowling, I wasn't mad at it. I was like, you got to try something against these 2 that clearly pose a threat to everybody. Abhishek Sharma comes as advertised, even though somehow it looks like Abhishek plays well outside of tournaments, which is, I hope it continues. And then obviously with Ishan Kishan, who's been on fire, he's kind of been keeping them together, and Aiden Markram, baby, Aiden baby. First over, so much passion, well played. Like, he's bowling like a guy and Shukri said we're going to use Aiden. We didn't use him a lot in the group stages. Now we're unleashing a plan. Obviously, now in the final, if we meet them again, they're going to be ready for these things. So we're going to have to change it up a little bit more. But it worked, right? Marco bowled beautifully. By the time Kagiso came in to bowl, I think we'd already lost three. They already lost 3 wickets. Right, then you're sitting there going, what does Kagiso have to do? And I'm not going to entertain this. We need to drop Kagiso thing. Kagiso hasn't bowled well.
No.
Look at those figures. 4 overs, 32 runs, no wickets, perfect. He bowled with so much control. It was just amazing, right? Yes, he's bowling in a team where Lungi is out of this world, where Corbin has a golden arm, and Marco's stepping up as a world beater as well. So yeah, why can't he as an elder statesman in this bowling attack? That's wild because he just turned 30. To be the change bowler, like many years we've been waiting for Kagiso to bowl well, take wickets early, and then everyone else comes in. Isn't it nice for once to be like, we've taken 3 wickets and Kagiso hasn't bowled? Actually, we took 3 wickets and Kagiso and Lungi hadn't bowled. It was unbelievable. And they bowl as a pack, and I love it. And the ace in the pack, always. And every time you guys watch South African cricket, it's Keshav. Keshav's overs are what makes or break us. 3 for 24, 3 wickets in an over. Tristan Stubbs, amazing fielding effort. It was like Keshav is like saying, guys, I see you. Even if we win the World Cup, I'm still player of the year. That's the type of performances he's putting up in this World Cup. The only person who's like, hold my beer is Lungi. Because if Lungi takes a 4-for or a 3-for in the World Cup final, he's my player of the year. Because my word, Lungi has delivered for us across all 3 formats. And if he brings us a T20 World Cup, I'll give it to him. But Keshav is fighting, guys. Keshav is there fighting. Tim, that bowling innings was sublime. We had them in a hole, and they just kept on attacking. I just sat there going, and it's the thing we have with Devalt. It's like, dude, sometimes you don't need to attack. And this total was 190. You can pedestrian your way to 190 if you give yourself a chance in the last 5 overs. If you've lost 3 wickets in the power play, surely you should regroup and say, and I don't like giving India advice, wait until over 15. But because they have to feed the monster, they have to feed their people 6s and 4s and all of this thing that's bigger than everything else, this is how they lose. Yeah, and South Africa played straight into that.
Yeah, their tactics, man. I don't want this to be an Indian podcast, but their tactics from team selection to batting order to who bowled when made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. When Washington was picked, I was going, yes, please. Thank you very much. This boy has no guile in T20 cricket. He's going to go. Thank you very much. It made no sense to me whatsoever. But I know in this format, it could change on the flip of a coin. Play them in the final. Abhishek can't buy a run. This team
he buys 100 in the final.
Exactly.
Look, if that happens, there's something else. But again, because we're a South African podcast, and if you add an ERN next to the South, we're a Southern African podcast. Zimbabwe, where are you? Sekanda Raza, Blessing, Muzarabani, Brian Bennett. Guys, wouldn't it be great to have 2 African teams in the World Cup semi-final? Yes, the stadiums are going to be empty, but surely that entices you even more. Surely.
Anything to piss off the ICC would make me happy.
Imagine a World Cup final between us and you again. Yes, we play on Sunday, but we know that other group has runners up. I don't even look at that other Super 8 group. Come on, Zimbabwe. Guys, this is our moment. You can break our hearts in a World Cup final. I know you want to do that. But in order to do that, please take care of India for us. Let's get rid of the big bad wolf. and we can have a great time in that final. We'll fly everybody into Ahmedabad. We'll just be black people everywhere. Come on, Zimbabwe. Come on. Sekanda, Blessing, Brian, Ryan Burl, Graham Creamer, dude. Welcome back, dude. Guys, come on. You saw what we did. You can get it done. And then the other side, West Indies, my brothers from the diaspora. You saw what we did. They're not that scary. Kick them out. Don't you want to humiliate us in a final? Don't you want to bring back the good old days of West Indies cricket? This is your moment. Imagine South Africa, West Indies in a World Cup final. Think about it. Like, surely. Because I'm excited. We smashed them. No matter what you can say to us and be like, no, we'll get you in the final. Yeah, fine. We'll find you in the final. And we'll do it again. This team, like, remember when we spoke about in the test series that this Indian team takes the form of its coach in Gautam Gambhir. I am so shocked that they don't have a plan B. Even from a bowling perspective. They threw Shivam Dube to us. And I sat there going, this is how you win games against them. They didn't know what to do. When you put this Indian team under pressure, they crumble. So when we go back to that ad, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, because congratulations to Shukri and the Proteas and Aiden. You guys were men. That Indian guy in that ad should have taken that cupcake because he would have choked. Because that's what they did last night. 24 games, however many games unbeaten since 2023. And what did they do? They choked. We've been told how many times that scoring 187 at Ahmedabad is a subpar score. They choked. Best players in the world, power hitting stats galore, 99s, 98s, and all those little stats like it's a video game. Yet, they choked. And the Indian fans will come back and say, no, guys, yeah, we're still better than you. Wow, we've got more money than you. Yeah. Watch how other teams deal with you. Because I sat there going, if Sikandar Raza, Graham Creamer just floated up a little bit there. Yes, they're playing in Chennai, so a slightly smaller ground, so it might be a little problematic, but I backed those Zimbabwean spinners to cause problems. And I backed Blessing Muzarabani to cause even more problems. It's gonna be great. I like the Super 8s. You know, all the group winners beating each other up. Yeah. And that other side is rain and cakes. It's nice that side. But anyway, Tim, any final words about that? Because obviously we've got the West Indies on Thursday. Any changes to the team? Are you keeping the same side? Is this your 11 that takes you to the World Cup final?
Yes, it is. It is. In terms of that game, we will obviously discuss it later on. But just because of their potential, I'm tempted to ask them to bat first. If we win the toss. Yeah. I'm tempted to, because even though I know that our bowling attack is incredibly supreme, I know what that West Indian batting lineup can do. I'm not worried about the bowling at all. The bowling is very average. I'm honest, it's very average. But that batting lineup, I'm wary of. I know that it's what its potential is, and its potential is 250 if it wants danger, to.
Yeah. Well, good thing for us, we're playing in Ahmedabad. It's more of a day game. It's at 11:30, so the due aspect's not going to be that much. So that's obviously something that we need to kind of factor in there. But I'm with you. Let them bat first, and let's see if we can't put them under pressure with the ball, trying to defend, a total against his bowling attack. I'm with you there. I was really surprised yesterday that he won the toss and batted first. But it's, again, something to throw something different to them. Do you get what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah.
It's them trying something. They're like, actually, they haven't chased. So yeah, let's test them chasing. And they, without Virat Kohli, are found wanting. So maybe that's how you beat India. You make them chase. Who knows? That's a good thing. Anyway, we've got many things to discuss. So let's move on to the Proteas women. I have an apology to make. Actually, not an apology. It's more of a come to the front of the congregation moment, an acknowledgement of a cricketing career that has reached a very high point right now. As Tim would note, after 50 games, Sinalo Jafta finally has her maiden half century across all formats of international cricket. She got there in style, hit it down the ground, and she ran like her life depended on it. Fist bumps in the air, and the whole crowd was so excited to see her because she came on with a cameo knock. We've seen the cameo knocks at the World Cup, but she never could get to the 50 runs, running out of partners. But this time, she found Sunil, and it worked. South Africa were losing wickets against Pakistan yesterday at regular intervals. And Laura Wolfhard went out, and Nadine de Klerk couldn't do anything. And there was just a whole lot of drama. But Sunil hung out there, and she really helped this team get through with a very lovely 96. Laura scored a 43. Annery Dirksen also helped with a 31. But to get to that 260 for 6 in a reduced game of 41 overs, Sinalo Jafta's 57 of 38 was a match-winning performance. And the Proteas women subsequently went on to win the game. But Tim, how amazing was it to see Sinalo finally break through and effectively cause Karabo misses some problems now? Because now you're sitting there going, well, she's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm glad you corrected yourself because I don't think an apology is needed. It's more a recognition of an excellent innings, a recognition of a milestone that she's finally achieved, a recognition of a very important and, as you say, match turning innings from Sinalo. I still have issues long term, because long term, I think we're better with Karabo. You know, I can isolate the two. I can say Sinalo, fantastic innings, superb to see you scoring runs. Very happy for you, particularly on your 50th match. But I do worry if I'm thinking long term. I want to see more of this. I don't need to see 50, 50, 50, 50, but that average is going to start creeping up a little bit if you want to be a regular, consistent stay in the side with Karabo in there, because if we're honest, Karabo is the future. Sinalo has been a fantastic stalwart of the side, very important cog, but we have to, at some point, look towards the future. So I take my hat off to Sinalo. A fantastic innings, but I do definitely have one eye on the future, and I hope that, and I trust Manila does have one eye on the future and where this team is going in the next 18 months to 2 years from here. It's certainly a headache. It's a headache for Butler, and it is, as you say, quite right to point out, added pressure for Karabo. Because now when Karabo does play and does bat, the back of her mind, she's going, I don't just have to be a good keeper now. I now have to score runs as well, which is good. It's good. You want to have that pressure, which I don't think that pressure wasn't provided from Sinalo in recent times.
Yeah, look, it wasn't, and I don't want this to be a Karabo discussion. I want this to be a Sinalo discussion. We can look to the future, but we can enjoy what we're seeing now. And yeah, she averages 14 and a half, right? But the biggest thing with her was getting over that line, being able to contribute for this team with the bat. It was weighing heavily on her. And many coaches were looking for other options because of that, right? They even batted her at 9, right? And she, rightfully so, has worked so hard over the last 2 years, incredibly hard to get to this moment. And so when she got there yesterday, look, we've said on this podcast that we think we need to move on with Karabo. But if you're going to do this for us, Sinalo, let the youngster fight for their spot. And if you finding a rich vein of form is going to force the best out of those guys coming behind you, that, because you are a selfless cricketer, you are team first. She is team first. That would be the greatest gift you've ever given to this country, to create that conveyor belt of very good glove women, not men, glove women, but I'll still say glove men, that also can handle the bat, that can bat in the top 6. She's been fighting to be in the top 6. Mandla gave her the responsibility of being in the top 6. He did drop her down the order because obviously now we're in this, Danae's coming in. We're trying to fit in Sune and Laura and Tasman. And now it's working. And I'm sitting here today going, if I'm going to the World Cup in England at the end of in the middle of this year, Sinalo's my keeper for now. Karabo needs to prove herself. And if she needs to score 100 to do it, then so be it. But I like this competition. But fundamentally, Sinalo, congratulations. Well done, Sisi. You did really, really, really well. And we want more. Right now, you've shown us what you can do, right? Just like the Proteas men with 1 extra. Now, yesterday, they came out with 5 extras. We want more. We want more of that. Keep doing it. Keep it up. Well done. We spoke last year at that Wanderers race, and you said you were going to score a 50 at the World Cup. It's not the World Cup, but it's just as better, just as good. So please keep at it. Keep at it. Keep doing what you're doing. Outside of that, in the rest of the game, the bowling is looking good, Tim. We're getting there somehow. Dumisi Kukune is back, 3 for 50 in that game. Nadine de Klerk took 2 for 36. Aya Slubi, without Aya Bongakaka in the side, 1 for 22, leading the attack. We've got something here, Tim. We really, really have something with the ball that can make us world class and compete at that top level and keep us there in that top 4, because it's England, it's Australia, it's now India, and maybe us as the 4th.
Yeah. What is pleasing for me, though, and you're right, you're absolutely right. The bowling attack is shaping up nicely. It's coming together. They're playing regularly. They're maturing as a squad of bowlers, which is good to see. But what is pleasing for me is the series is competitive. I didn't necessarily think in our own backyard it would be that competitive. But I'm pleased that it has been up until this point. Games have been quite close. So, and that's a benefit to the team. The team wants to have competitive cricket, players under pressure, having to perform, and that's what they're doing. As I said, we've seen the resurgence of Dane, we've seen the resurgence of Sundari now, and now Jafta, all coming to the fore with runs, wickets, and performances. That's what we want to see. We want to see people taking the middle, taking the pressure, and taking the responsibility, and it's benefiting the team. So it's good to see for the team.
And also with some bench depth, right? Marazan is not playing, but we're still winning, right? And that's a testament to this team, right? Too many times have they been reliant on Marazan, and now she's not there. And we've got a star in the waiting to see when Faye's going to get unleashed. Manda, please don't make us wait too long. Please don't make us wait too long. But Faye Cowling of the Lions, when I watched her bowl, I came onto this podcast and I said, this one's a star. She should be in the team. She's finally there. And yeah, they're playing Centurion on Wednesday. Mandla, come on. Help people out. Let people see what Faye Cowling can do. Because that's what the bench is. You've got the Kaylas, you've got the Fays, you've got the Missos, and whoever you swap out, you don't lose much. And that's the beautiful thing about it all, is that now you've got backups that are younger that can create the next generation of Proteas women cricketers. And it's a great thing that it's happening now when the Sunays are still there, when the Denays are there, when the Marazans are there, when the Ayakakas are there, the Sinalos are there, because then you pass on the baton seamlessly. We don't look around going, who's here? We were worried what's going to happen when Shubnam's gone. Couple of years of Mandla's reign, we're okay. We've got options. And I think that's great. And now we can't even sit there going, oh, well, if Marazan's gone, what is going to happen? We've got options. We've got a very talented side, and it's amazing to see. Well done, Mandla. This is it's coming up good. Now we just want to win that World Cup, which I think with the squad we can. Okay. The next game's a Centurion on Wednesday, and then they play one final game. That will be the Black Day game against gender-based violence. If you noted on CSA's social media channels, they've changed their logo to black and purple. It's gender-based violence, and it's a fight against gender-based violence. We're going up against it, and so we are supportive of it. And so so if you are in Durban again on a Sunday, please do go out there and support this very, very great team. Okay, now Tim, let's move on to something that happened last week that makes me happy. The trifecta of the victories. Everyone in South Africa got double victories, but whoever lives in Johannesburg got the sweetest victory of them all. Friday afternoon, I literally ended up laughing because I could not believe that this team pulled it out again. And Tim, you've got that stat. We're going to go to that stat that of all the times the Lions were in trouble and that lower middle order had saved them. But in this final, the Warriors took on the Lions at the Wanderers for another trophy. The Warriors, if they won, would get a second trophy this season. The Lions would get their first 3 and 3 seasons in terms of a 4-day series, but continually keeping the winning, a trophy in Johannesburg. And day one, we said day one would be crucial. The Warriors stepped up, 305, all out, just putting the Lions under the sword. They weren't bowling well. Centuries from Jordan Hanman, JP King, and nothing else after that. And that kind of precipitated the fall. But however, obviously on the Lions side, 3 wickets for Via and 3 wickets for Delano Potgieter. Delano just comes out in finals. He's like a finals dude. He just knows that when it's a final, he's there. But Vian helped him with 3 wickets. Cody Yusuf took 2 wickets in that first innings. The Lions were in trouble in the second, in their first innings. They were 143 for 6. And somehow, somewhere, they managed to get to 295. It's a tale of their season. They've done this many times over. Tim's got a beautiful stat. He's going to tell you about all the games that happened. And I think it's all the games against all the teams where they were in trouble. And then they only got to 295. The Warriors had a lead of 10 going into that second innings. However, Matthew Boast, 5 for 58. That's someone to watch for the future. And Patrick Kruger taking 2 wickets. Finally, in that second innings, on day 3, moving day, the Lions had the Warriors in all sorts. The experience and the class, Cody Yusuf, Bear Swanepoel came through. They had probably the spell of their lives in tandem. 9 wickets taken by both of them. The Warriors were bowled out for 95. And I was speaking on another platform after day 2, and everyone was like, can the Warriors do it? Can the Warriors do it? I was like, that Wednesday morning, that first session where the Lions were in trouble, they were 160 for 6, and Delano was batting, because Delano, I think, scored 88 in that innings. Vian Mulder scored 57. It was his birthday when he played. Bear Swanepoel scored 35. Cody Yusuf scored 25. I said that morning is important. You can't allow the Lions to get away with it one last time, and they did. And the Lions managing to get there. Then I said, in the second innings, the Warriors can't allow themselves to be bowled out for a cheap, even anything under 200 would have been problematic, because you know what this Lions side can do. And they got bowled out for 95. And then to add insult to injury, the Lions killed the game off in day 3. At 5, just after 5 on day 3, on Friday afternoon, we're expecting some sort of a turnout on Saturday. The Lions took the trophy home and told everyone to have a great weekend. And it was a 69 from Zubair Hamza. Wandile Makwetu was out there in the middle. I think he hit the winning runs. Dom Hendricks got 19. But again, I don't know if it's the villain arc of the Lions, Tim, or if it's just everyone else just allowing them to do whatever they want to do. But how in the world did the Lions end up with that trophy?
It would be foolish of me to just come on here and pardon the Warriors to say it was there for the Warriors to win, because that would not be strictly true. For the simple reason that the stat that you mentioned, this before I go into what our thoughts of the final, this is what the Lions have done this season when in trouble, every single game. And it is why, at the halfway stage of the 40 competition, we were saying Warriors Northwest final. That's what it looked like at the halfway mark. Mm-hmm. So, the Lions were 178 for 5 against Western Province. They made 552 for 9. They were 200. They were 249 for 6 against the Dolphins. They made 619 for 7 declared. They were 189 for 6 against the Titans. They made 386. They were 25 for 5. Yes, you heard that correctly. 25 for 5 against Northwest and made 239. They were 225 for 6 against Poland. They made 374. And this was a clincher. I did say to you, this was probably where the Warriors, A, stuffed up making a 4-day series final at home, and B, stuffed up the final. In the prelim game to the final, they had the Warriors at the Lions 95 for 6. The Lions made 305 and drew that game, which basically meant the Warriors couldn't get a home final. Then in the final, 143 for 6, and as Mpho said, they made 295. Now, on the final itself, at the end of day 2, the Lions were 193 for 7, more than 100 behind, with 3 wickets left. There is a caveat, but it's a slight caveat. Boast was unwell overnight, and that is why he didn't bowl on that final day, because he wasn't feeling well. But they opened the bowling with Sendran Muthusamy. And who was the other? It was, I think, Patrick Kruger.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. But the point I'm making is 193 for 7. And they said to the Lions, you can spend the next 45 minutes getting your eye in. They had Gideon Peters and they had Wesley Bedger. And they said, you know what? No. That was when the game was done. We just check. I just want to make sure I am correct here. Yes, they did. They opened with Yanda and
who's the spinner?
And Sen. So they had inexperience, and then they had Sen, and they didn't open with Peters or Bedger, who are fast bowlers. The point being that the Lions then had 45 minutes to an hour to get themselves in and then steamroll the Warriors, which is what happened. That is when the beginning of day 3, that is when the game was lost. It is important to add in that second innings that performance with the ball, as you rightly pointed out for the Lions, was superb. And on the day they were on the money, 100%. At the start of that performance, the Warriors did try to get out of a difficult situation, but you do see it more and more now. Instead of just absorbing pressure, they try to take the pressure onto the lines. And when you have people like Cody Yusuf and Bar Swanepoel, you play into their hands. So, Jordan Herman, fantastic first innings 100, second innings 25 of 25, and then he played a rare shot. There's no way of putting it. And that rare shot then precipitated the collapse, which meant that the Lions coasted. They weren't able to absorb that pressure that was provided by excellent bowling. But on that morning, when they opened with Mjanda and Sen, that was the moment where the Lions said, we're going to take control. And that's over the 3 days. They were worthy champions. But as I said, Warriors definitely had their chances. Even with Matthew Boast out of with the ball, and they had a batsman injured as well, because Matthew de Villiers batted in the second innings because the Doko was injured batting, if I'm correct. So things did not go for the Warriors in any way, shape, or form. But they still had their chances. They still had the momentum, had the Lions under pressure, and they didn't take that. What the Proteas did, they didn't do it. They didn't put the pressure back onto the Lions.
Look, they tried, and I think they go back home, with a bitter pill to swallow. But it's been a great season for them. I think, to get to 2 finals in this domestic season is something that needs to be applauded. Well done to Robbie P on doing that, also winning 1 of those. So it's not a bad thing. It's a horrible feeling. But what this Warriors team did, from how they've played over the past couple of years, and now with a slightly younger core, is something that needs to be applauded. And well done to Robbie P and the team there in Gqeberha. They did really well. And this should not be a blip. It should be a marker to say that maybe in the next coming years, we too could do what the Lions do and compete on every level with every trophy. And that obviously brings us to the One Day Cup. We've got the One Day Cup coming up, and that's going to be quite an interesting thing to see, especially for this young Warriors team, because I think I have them in the final. The question is, will the Lions be there too? But there's a lot of questions in the One Day Cup, especially with the Titans and how they're playing their cricket. Can the likes of Luandre help them stave off? Remember, there's also a tour to New Zealand where a lot of people are going to be away. So it's going to be a very interesting One Day Cup, and it could have relegation implications. Okay, Tim, let's move over to the upcoming fixtures, and we'll do also just the Hollywood bets catch up from a Pro 20 Pro Series. We've got our first sight at the logs. I think they're like midway through the season. So we'll just give you a view there. But let's go with the upcoming fixtures. As we move the banner. The Proteas women take on Pakistan women in the second ODI at Centurion on Wednesday. Then they play the Black ODI on Sunday in Durban. So please do go out and check them out if you're in those areas. Please do support them. They really, really are playing great cricket. And then on Wednesday, the 25th of February, Mpumalanga is taking on in Division 2 of the One Day Cup, is taking on the Garden Route Badgers in White River. Northern Cape is taking on the Easterns in Kimberley. On Thursday, we have the Proteas men have their second Super 8 game in Ahmedabad against the West Indies at 11:30. And then on Thursday, we've got still Division 2 games, One Day Cup games. The Knights host the Inyati in Bloem. And then SA Emerging will be taking on Limpopo at the Tuks Oval. And then on Friday will be the start of Division 1. One Day Cup with the Warriors taking on the Dolphins in Gqeberha. So lots of one-day cup matches to look out for. And then we've got our first sighting of the Hollywood Bets Pro 20 log right now. Western Province and the Lions are neck and neck. The Lions beat them in the Pro 20 this Sunday. And so we've got two teams at the top sharing the spoils, but at the bottom of the logs, the Garden Route Badgers are sitting on 4 points, Northwest on 11 above them, the Titans on 12 above them, and the Dolphins on 17 points. And then in Pro 50, it's slightly different. You've got the Dolphins on 25 points, the Lions on 21, Western Province on 19, who beat the Lions this weekend in the Pro 50 game, the Titans on 18 points, the Garden Route Badgers on 14, and Northwest on 4 points. So lots still to play for in the Hollywood Bets Pro Series. Tim, any final words before we go? We've got lots of cricket to end this Victory Monday. What do you have to say?
We might have something on Thursday. We may or may not. It's a flip. It's a flip of a coin. It's a flip of a coin whether we have something. So just keep an eye out when we're back.
And the only question is, like Ed and Markram, will you choose to bat first? Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this show. Remember, please do follow us on all the platforms. On X at SA Cricket Pod, on YouTube, please like and subscribe to South African Cricket Podcast. Please also follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for all our audio friends. And remember to buy some coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SA Cricket Pod. You can also send us an email. We love the emails. You can send us an email at sacricketpod@gmail.com. We love it, and we really do enjoy your engagement with us through your comments, through everything else. Outside of that, may you have a blessed Victory Monday. It's a great time. Not often does this happen, but when it does, we do have a great time and enjoy it. Good luck to the Proteas, good luck to the Proteas women, and good luck to all the Division 1 and Division 2 teams starting their one-day cup campaigns this weekend. Outside of that, from myself, Mpho and Tim, it's goodbye and lesale kakagiso.